off to see the train show, the wonderful...
We're heading to Evanston.
We're going to Evanston. I wouldn't make much of a rapper, I don't think.
No, well, it depends on what kind of rapper you're talking about. If it's around the candy bars.
I can't think of a darn thing that rhymes with rhyme. Time. I see.
Slime.
Slime.
I did phonemic awareness.
Train show is hard. Anyway, we're off to see the train show in Evanston. One of the great train shows.
Yes.
In large part because it's held in a roundhouse.
Yes.
And they're restoring the roundhouse.
Yes.
And every time we go up there, which is every few months, it's changed a lot.
It has.
So check this out, the Evanston Train Show in the Evanston Roundhouse. You know, it sounds kind of corny, but I look forward to this show almost like Christmas.
No, that's not corny at all.
Just, this is one of my favorite shows, and you can mark the calendar by coming up here. But in part because we get to check on the progress of the Roundhouse and see what they've done. Every time we come up here, they've got more and more done. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Rumor has it they're going to put a shuttle in here that's going to transfer people from the Roundhouse down to Depot Square.
That would be really cool if they do that. This time when we got up here, they had pretty much the whole outside of the building finished.
Oh, I love it. It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. They've got about half of the interior done and all of the exterior, and they're still chugging away on the rest of the interior. And I'm dying to see what they're planning to do with that. In the meantime, we get to use it for a train show.
Right.
So actually, with next week's show, we're going to follow up just on the progress that they're making here on the Roundhouse. That'll be a whole show next week.
In the meantime, let's check out that train show.
Absolutely. As with all good train shows, there were a bunch of modular railroads. Here we have the three-rail guys.
I like that one.
I love that. I'm not a three-rail person, but dang, I enjoy watching people play with the three-rail. I could get hooked on that, you know?
Oh, be careful.
This is the Utah Train Collectors Association, but there's several clubs that do the toy trains. This is just one of them, and they're here every year. While not necessarily being a three-rail person, I certainly am an O-scale person. Well, I'm a rubber gauger. I have all the scales and gauges.
You have all the scales.
I leave the end scale to you.
Yes.
But every other scale and gauge combination, I currently am screwing around with that.
Right here, there's a representation of all the sizes.
Yep, all the way down to, is that Z or N? I guess that's N.
Teeny tiny.
And, of course, tools.
Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite places to be at a train show.
Me too. There's always a tool I'm looking for.
Right.
These guys, Sidetrack. Oh my heck, did they have some neat stuff. And they make their own brass engines.
Nice.
We'll come back to that in a little while. But this looks just like my electrics drawer at Garage Mall.
There you go. Those boxes are cool.
Aren't they just? We bought some of those too. And some files. I got the edge of your nose. Yeah.
I was going to say, don't get that close. My heavens.
There we are. There we are.
Scare the people to death. Well, here we have the N scale.
Yes, Wasatch Scalers.
One of my favorites.
Including our friends Bob and Karen.
Right.
But they're part of this group, and they have that huge home layout. But this modular setup that these guys travel around, holy crap, this is just neat.
It's fun.
It's really fun. I do believe that this is a scale model of the nuclear power plant where Homer Simpson works. I'm not 100% sure.
I think so.
Oh!
And I believe right there's the future of the hobby. Look at the little girls interested in this.
You know, the girls are the ones that really like it anymore.
I always loved trains.
Yeah. The boys are more interested these days in some other things, but when you see the really young kids playing with trains, about two-thirds of them are girls now.
Right.
So if you're looking for a Christmas present for a little girl, well, there you go.
Get them a train. I'd have wanted one.
Absolutely. I'm not sure why, but I just love 40-foot boxcars with roof walks. I suppose it's because that's what I grew up with. I suppose given my druthers, I'd have built a model railroad inside one.
I'll bet you would have.
Finger in there?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's no fun.
No, I love seeing people with trains. Makes it more interesting. Track issues.
Constantly.
And this is the Sherman Hill Model Railroad Club out of Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Nice.
They have their own train show up at Cheyenne. It's in conjunction with Depot Days. And we always try to get to that, although we rarely succeed.
Right.
Well, it snows up there,
It
even though it's
does.
the 1st of June. Oh, hump day!
Oh, there you go.
Ah! Oh my heck, these are some beautiful F units. F7, I think. Hard to tell 7s from 9s.
Oh.
So the Sherman Hill Model Railroad Club does have a permanent layout there in Cheyenne. We've tried numerous times to get into their permanent layout in Cheyenne.
Right.
We have failed every time.
That's right.
Well, Cheyenne is just one of those places where there's always something else to do.
No offense to them.
No offense to them, we will get over
We
there at
will.
some point in time, but you get invited to the Roundhouse, well, you're going to end up over at the Roundhouse. But one of these days, we're going to get over and see these guys permanently.
Yes.
They were running this model of 4014, which is appropriate since it lives there in Cheyenne in the Roundhouse. There's actually two big boys in Cheyenne. The other one doesn't run. And here we have the Rio Grande Historical Society. We picked up our annual calendar from them
Right.
every year.
I love their calendars.
Great guys, too. Wow, these guys are just so cool.
I just love these pizza box layouts.
Yeah, about the size of a pizza box.
Right.
It's just a way to get kids involved, building a little N-scale railroad the same size as a pizza box. And kids just love doing this. What a great project. So if you work with kids, if you have a Cub Scout troop or whatever, here you go.
I think it's a great project for kids.
It is. And of course, dealers, in this case, Tin Plate.
My favorite.
Your favorite. Well,
Another favorite.
Another favorite. You bought a caboose.
I did.
Yeah, another crummy, and it wasn't crummy at all. It was
No.
actually really nice.
It's cool. Oh, scale Lionel template.
Absolutely. We both love that era.
Yes.
Yeah. This stuff's fun to collect. We have quite a bit of it. We don't run it or anything, but just fun to collect.
Right.
So now we're over in the actual Roundhouse. That other stuff was all in the back shop, the machine shop. They do have a small amount of the Roundhouse finished on the interior, so they can do a small part of the train show in there as well.
I really like these automated trolleys.
This is such a great, Ralph's got that
He
automated.
does. I love it.
And Rosie loves it. Every
Yes.
time it comes, here comes the train, and she always wants to point it out. But what a fun little addition to any railroad. You can just put an automated trolley system. And here we have Spring Creek model trains. They carry a lot of scale trains.
It's confusing. Doesn't everybody carry scale trains?
Well, this is the brand.
Oh.
But I love this brand, Scale Trains in the red
Right.
box.
Ah.
They make some great stuff. They had some really neat brass. A lot of this was N-scale, hint, hint, hint.
Yes, yes.
But along with all these lovely brass engines, they also have micro trains by Katie, and they have Cato. Cato is always a grand brand. And in N-scale, they also make HO, but they're probably better known for their N-scale. And check out the cool Athearn Genesis locomotives. Those are some of the best running engines there are.
Jewelry in a box.
Jewelry in a box, no kidding. Well, the last time we were up here, we were chasing the big boy on May 10th.
Yes.
And none of these doors were mounted on the building. Look at how much work has been done since then.
I can't believe it.
They're just really going to town on the rebuilding of the Roundhouse. And over here in these stalls in the Roundhouse, they have the Hostlers Model Railroad Club. They kind of help put this show on, but they have their own show, the Odgen show.
One of my favorites.
Oh, it's another do not miss this show.
Is that the Bates Motel?
Yes, they have a model of that, and we've actually been in the real one.
We have.
Here's a link to that show, but there really is a Bates Motel, and here's a link to it.
Isn't that the motel we stayed at in Ely?
That was like the Bates. No, the Bates is a movie set at Universal Studios. The one we stayed at, I believe that's called Lurches.
Yes, oh, that one, yes.
Lurches, yeah. Boy, do we digress. Back to the Hostlers layout over here. It's a great modular layout, and they're running European equipment, among other things. I just love to see a great mixture of different kinds of equipment. And these guys really have a mixture of fun stuff. Look, there's the Jupiter.
It is.
So talk about an interesting and eclectic mix. An F unit passing the Jupiter. Well, as is always the case, we couldn't help but buy a couple of things.
Right.
Lots of neat stuff, but again, just the collection of really high-quality models and brass models was just through the roof. I was just blown away. Now, we mentioned earlier that Sidetrack Models makes some of their own brass engines. That's a bit of an exaggeration. They make a couple of brass engines. But, boy, I came really close to buying this one right here.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Oh, my heck. It's one of my favorite engines of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Denver South Park and Pacific, number 191. They've got that at the museum at Golden. And, well, if you want one of these, you just pay the guy the money, and he goes back to his shop and he builds you one.
Oh, well, that's neat.
So they're kind of one-offs. He says he's built about 50 of them so far. But the price was reasonable, and I still might get one. So that was the Evanston Train Show again. It's always good.
It is.
We wouldn't miss it any year ever because of all the train shows. We go to a lot of different trade shows around the West. Mm-hmm. Evanston and Ogden are our favorites.
Right.
And we wouldn't miss either one. And this, of course, was Evanston. And
yes.
here in 6 months, it'll be Ogden. We'll be there too.
I don't know. We might go back to Evanston just to peek in the windows like we've done that before. Too.
Well, we like to just catch up on the Roundhouse.
It's a short drive.
Speaking of which, you may have noticed that we didn't really show you that much about the Roundhouse. That's next week's show.
Right.
We're going to get you caught up on the work at the Roundhouse. It's actually really close to being done.
Very close. A lot closer than it was in
close.
May.
Yes. I mean, you never really know with these things, but it actually
Right.
looks like, I mean, it's pretty much finished on the outside now.
Right.
Just has some stuff to do on the inside, which could take another 5 years for all we know. Well, anyway, if you haven't been over to the channel, pop on over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It helps us out, and it'll help you out, because if you click your notification bell, then you will be notified. You could also share the movie if you would like, because that would also help us out.
Right.
We appreciate all the help we can get, frankly.
Oh, that reminds me, we got winter coming and we need our driveway cleared.
We do need our drivers, so anybody that wants to help with
I
that.
gotta help, yeah.
Well, anyway, if you're not a subscriber, here's your golden, actually it's blue, opportunity, the blue button. Are we ready for it? Sign right there, the blue button, the little rocket ship in the middle. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you next Sunday as we show you the rest of the Roundhouse.
Right.
See you then.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.